Yeah, so I think some of the reflections after my team having implemented this tool out in the communities is, I think climate change, and I think its integration into WASH is something that is relatively new out in the sector that we work in, and equally so out in some of these remote communities that we work in. So I think part of the challenge from our end is to integrate, localize the content so that we could raise the awareness and get it on people's radar, getting them to understand these climate change concepts, what are break it down for them in terms of what are the drivers, what are the risks. So those are some of the challenges from our end, given the relative newness of the subject matter itself and the tool. Similarly, the tool is one of its kind that will currently being reviewed, developed with IWC and implemented by the team. So again, it's one of those trial and error, trying to perfect the tools that we're currently using, and also making sense of it. Some of the, I think at the end of the spectrum, one of the key things that we've seen is while we are raising a lot of these climate change impacts of what it has on WASH, what we're seeing is the involvement from the authorities in terms of solution, being part of the solutions. That's one of the key things that we're struggling with, is while we're raising things, getting things on the community's radars, while they're getting it onto their action planning, important things such as operations and repairs to their WASH infrastructures. How can they conduct water quality tests of their sources and at different water points are quite difficult at the moment. And these are outside of our real influence of domain. But what we're doing is we're connecting, we're getting people, we're getting these issues raised, getting it onto a government's priority listing. That's going to be something that we really looking further to unpack in terms of how do we get the governments, the authorities to respond to these real issues that the communities are facing in their everyday lives at their household levels. And these are not, some of these things are just quick wins, such as a quick O&M to the water systems. Others could be just giving continued advocacy and awareness raising once the project ends. Who gets to lead on this in such a space, because we're just a project and we do have an end date. So continuity of this important work is also some of these key things, like will the government take it on board? Will they put it on their radar? Do they have the budget to be actually going out to such remote communities to bring about solutions to make people's lives more meaningful, better health outcomes for people? I think I'll leave it at that, and probably my colleague Mark and yourself can pitch in. Yeah, thanks.